broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey there, Z Nation fans! Welcome to another episode of the Z Nation AfterBuzz After Show. Today we are covering Season 2, Episode 15, All Good Things Must Come to an End. Aww. How did we get to the finale already?
Right?
When did that happen?
Friday night.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Thank you.
Well, we should probably go ahead and get the ball rolling because we've got some fantastic special guests with us tonight. To my left, Katie Cullen.
Hi, all my buddies. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I'm also keeping an eye on the live chat and the hashtag ABTVZNation. So if you got something fun to say or any questions for our guests, throw them in there. You may well get a shout out.
Please do. We love hearing from you guys. Michelle Cullen.
Hello, everyone. You can find me on Twitter at Michelle_Cullen. It is my name. It's pretty sweet.
It is indeed.
Did you run out of name jokes?
I did.
And I cannot have another.
It's so hard to find them.
Well, we have one of our very special guests, Russel Hodgkinson, who plays Doc on the show. He's joining us again. You were joining us on the finale last season.
Yes.
Now you're back again.
It's just worked out that way. How cool. Hey, all you after buzzards and Z-whackers.
After buzzards. I love it. I'm keeping it.
Yes. Yay. Let's keep
Hashtag
that.
after buzzards.
After whackers.
Maybe not a good plan to go with that one.
Yeah,
And now we hit AfterBuzz After Dark territory.
Exactly. And also joining us on the couch, the showrunner and co-writer of this episode, Karl Schaefer.
Hello, everyone.
And also co-writer of this episode, Daniel Schaefer.
How's it going, everyone?
Now, how is everybody tonight? Because it's now that a couple days has passed since the finale's aired. Has it all sunk in yet that the season is wrapped up, or does it not feel that way? Because you guys went right back to work.
Well, it's funny. The season felt really long. I went back and looked at like episodes 5 and 6, and it seemed like it was another season ago.
Yeah.
So much has happened this season, and the characters have changed so much over the arc of the season. But on the other hand, we're already back in the writer's room, and we just turned over the last episode at the last second last week. So it just seems like one big apocalypse.
No, it's like I started on SAF in December of last year and haven't stopped Z-Nationing until essentially the last 5 minutes of the live tweet the other night. But we're still in the room, so.
So basically, holiday season, you guys are just going to collapse for a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Pretty much.
All right,
That sounds like a really good plan for holiday season.
Yeah.
I think we're all just going to be like, nope.
Agreed. So, getting to the episode itself, initial thoughts, because this was kind of a hell of a... I will say, it's not death from above season finale, but this was a really interesting way to kind of leave off with all of our different characters. Everybody's in very, very unique situations that was unlike the way things were left off last season.
Oh, yeah, just skipping right to the end, talking about that cliffhanger. It's on everyone's mind. Let's do it. I feel like this one was almost worse than last season because it's much, much more personal. Last season was, well, if we don't get renewed for season 2, this is quite literally how the world ends. Ta-da! And this one's like, no, you are invested. See you next year.
Yep.
Dun,
So
dun,
it's a very different sort of. It's not rocks fall, everyone dies. It's like, no, we have you by the heartstrings now. You're coming with us.
playing them like a harp.
Dance puppets dance.
Are you sure it wasn't more like a metal guitar
It
with the
just
things
hurts.
that are breaking and the
Air guitar.
It was. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Season 1 finale was very much a, well, everybody is facing some nukes. This is pretty unified.
Literally the nuclear option.
Yep, it's just the nuclear option. And then this finale, it took me a couple times watching it to appreciate everything that was happening at the end because I was just so excited Emilio's alive.
I just
he
love
came back.
Vasquez doing the Rambo thing off into the wilderness like, bye!
That. There was a lot to pay attention to this time around. But yeah, we have about 5 or 6 integral different things happening at once that you're like, no, but I love them. No, but I love them. No, but I want. I made a lot of noises watching the season 2 finale.
We all
That's sort of
watched
what we
this
go
one
by.
together.
Our testing is if everybody's making the same noise in the audience at the same
The
time.
panic squeal is a good sign.
Right.
That
Or
I did-
gasp.
Yep.
They all gasp.
It's the heard around the world.
For me, this season finale is a little bit more existential than last season, because we have, Citizen Z looking up at the sky last season, going, well, frickin' apocalypse, man. But this one, everything is so uncertain, and not in a way of like, oh, that's impending doom right above us. Because Murphy is riding off into the sunset, Vasquez rode off into the sunset.
Vasquez
everybody's-
ran off into
He
the
kind of
trees.
pranced.
That's a little different.
like an
Like-
antelope.
It was
I'm
like
out.
a beautiful gazelle motion up the hill with his weapon.
Got
He
those
did.
Vasquez feels? We see a lot of those on our social media.
He was.
Yeah.
This was.
Hashtag Vasquez gets a little steamy.
I shouldn't have
Oh,
found
gosh.
it as funny as I did, but I found it hysterical. Starting with the rolling the picture up in the bandana, like, you're gonna ruin that picture.
Yeah.
I think of it
Yeah, it's gonna get real sticky.
Oh,
I
it's gonna
appreciated the
destroy.
symbology behind that motion in
The
the Easter egg.
symbology.
Yeah, I made up a word. It's a beautiful word.
I like it.
Hashtag
I totally got
symbology. Thank you, Carl.
I totalitarian got it.
That's actually a word
But these-
already, though.
Yeah, but it's been
you
used
gotta
in
make
a new
up
way.
a word. Everybody's goal for this episode is to make up a word. I'm winning.
So far. Yeah.
Michelle
But I
won, the
already
rest
had a
of us zero.
hashtag.
Well, anyway, so talking about being on the set, because a few of you guys were on the set for this finale, I want to know, how did it feel wrapping up this season in comparison to last season?
Well, I'm just a little sad thinking about it. Just being here thinking about it. Because I don't feel like the group is ever going to be the same again. And so, I don't know, just thinking about the last episode,
Yeah.
I'm a little sad about it.
Yeah,
I'm
there are a
sentimental.
lot of changes.
Well, it's also,
Yeah.
as far as crew is concerned, we actually shot 215 second to last. We shot episode 14 last in the chronology so we could do the flashback looks and cut everyone's hair. And
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there were quite a few alterations in the last episode.
So and it was definitely interesting shooting the finale. And actually looking back at my pictures the other day, I realized we shot the Murphy goodbye scene was like our first day on set too. So it was like all of these like heavy moments were actually kind of oddly out
That
of
was
order.
a hard scene too.
It was.
We rewrote that a bunch of times, and
Murphy?
saying
Yeah,
goodbye
Murphy's
to
goodbye.
Murphy, and
the one. That,
yeah, and all you guys had different opinions about what you wanted to
I
say
wanted
to
to
each
give,
other.
Yeah,
and,
I wanted to
and
give
we-
them their seaweed, and
Right.
thanks for letting me do that.
Right. No, it was tough to figure out what everybody would actually say to each other and how they would react and
Yeah.
how they wouldn't say anything, because
Yeah, exactly.
initially everybody had like big speeches that they said to everybody that we wrote, and then we just kept cutting it down and changing it.
Yeah.
Till it, eventually it just gets to be like a nod between him and Addie.
Yeah.
But you understand the whole thing.
But it's
so-
it's so cool and so gratifying as an actor to know that we've got that kind of leeway, and that you guys always got our back, and you're open to our ideas, as and everybody's input. It's all collective. And
Well, we've lucked out with such a creative cast, and just being able to like go through, like even on set, like being able to make these quick changes. Like Russell and I, like one of my favorite lines in the whole finale, that was just like Russell and I like couldn't find the right words for when he walks in and sees Lorena, and so we just like, that's not right, hold on, listen, and we just like bounced back and forth and ended up with
ding dong, the bitch is dead.
which is my favorite line of the season, and like
Which
That was a good one.
Michelle pointed out while we were watching it, it's like one final Wizard of Oz reference.
It was a little
Yeah.
bit of closure to that whole Lorena
Nice
experience.
little
Right.
bookend.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. But yeah, basically every cast member that we've had on this season has had nothing but really good things to say about the collaborative nature of this show and how
That's the truth. That's because that's the truth of it.
Well, it's the only way we get the show done. It's like if there was like one person dragging their feet, we wouldn't get through
we'd get a little
through the
iffy.
episodes. And a goal from the very beginning of the show was that I wanted to make sure the audience felt like we were having fun, like that they could tell that we were cracking up behind camera, and I think a lot of our fans would just as much like to work on the show as they would be in the show. They'd like to come be a makeup person or, blowing things up or one of our effects people or something like that.
And our crew has the most fun of like a very professional, hardworking crew who are putting in this
when you let them have
insane
alcohol.
amount of work. Yeah.
That right there.
But yeah, but even just like getting to spend as much time on set, because in addition to the writing, I've been the set photographer for season 2, and getting to see every little facet of it, really in documenting the behind the scenes, you realize like everyone's having a ton of fun putting stuff together. Like even stuff as simple as the logo, the original logo for Z-Weed, was something that like it was a family effort. It was one of our lead design guys had his kids help design it, and it's like it's a very family, like the every aspect of the crew, from the two of us down to the Giles or half of our crew seem to be like this one family.
Well, it's because it is family.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
it's
is.
one big family. It really is.
Well, the show is so sort of low budget and quickly shot and everything that everybody has to chip in, because we're not like a normal show where you have enough money to build a set or to have the exact right costume or it's all like, what can we possibly get done under the time, and it's like everybody has to chip in and have the ideas and we take ideas from all of them and just incorporate it all in. So even the grips are funny on our.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got the best grips in the world. Oh
Grip
my God,
Z,
those
baby.
guys.
Hashtag Grip Z.
Hashtag Grip Z.
They're hilarious.
Shout out.
Love them.
Yeah,
Gotta love them.
we talked to a couple people, and most people have said the most challenging thing about this season has just been the time. Like the turnaround time for every single episode is just so quick and so fast
under a
paced
week.
that you guys just have no time to be dragging your feet, as you said.
Right. Well, and every episode too was just like there was some big challenge that we had, like, okay, in this episode 10,000 zombies are going over a cliff, or in this episode a giant wheel of cheese is gonna, and we had no idea when we're saying this stuff like how we're gonna do it, or if it's even so the crew would get really nervous every week and not know that we had been planning a lot of these things, because it's like we think it up in the writer's room, like there'll be a giant wheel of cheese, but we've been thinking about it for 9 months by the time we get around to shooting it and have it all sort of figured out. But the crew always doesn't know that when they read the script the first time. It's like,
What are we in for this time?
Now that the season is complete, is there anything about season 2 that you guys were kind of hoping would make it in, but ended up being cut for time, or it just didn't work? Is there anything, looking back, that you would change?
well, actually, the opening, here's a little, it's not a spoiler, but some news. We're doing a 2-hour special episode as like the intro for season 3, but it's actually the episode. We were nowhere near this episode from season 2, so it's going to be a flashback episode from early in season 2, and that will set up characters and things that are going to happen in season 3. So yeah, we did there, and it's all the stuff we would have done if we had any idea what season 3 was going to be. But now that we do,
well,
we
you
can
know,
go
you
back.
just didn't tell it.
That's true. So yeah, exactly. We're going. Well, there'll be a 2-hour movie that's all the stuff we couldn't cram into season 3.
That's so exciting.
I'll
I'm
make
sincerely
popcorn.
looking forward to that.
Oh, it's a
make
great.
popcorn.
It's going to be a good episode.
Yeah,
It'll
so
be,
we're co-writing that this season. So I'm writing 1 hour and he's writing the other. So we're having another little father-son show. That'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, awesome. Then again, very fitting that we end and then that's the way we start for the next one. I like it. So, do you guys want to talk about this opening action sequence
Yes.
a little bit? Because we meet Auntie, who is just a gem. She's just the best.
She's great.
She was so much fun. Jane Taini, she was
Jane.
fantastic to have on set.
I didn't trust her at the end of last episode, and then by about 5 minutes into this one, it was like, yep, this person.
I
Please
love
join
you.
the party.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's got that aunt at Thanksgiving, the one with the Uzi under the table. Just
Not
Every,
any of
every
mine.
Thanksgiving.
When she pulled that rack and the whole
Right,
rack.
all
all
these
those
guns
guns.
come down.
That was a surprise to the cast. We
Really?
didn't
You guys didn't know that?
We didn't know. And as soon as she pulled it, we were like, "Oh shit!"
So
Well,
that,
was
was a sincere reaction.
Yeah, it was a sincere reaction.
Wonderful.
that
Very
was a
cool.
collaboration between me, the props guy, and the stunt guy, all trying to rig this thing up like for an hour or so the day before, and not getting it to work. And then finally we realized, like, oh wait, we can just drop it.
Yeah.
So just had her pull this and just literally
Slam
like
down.
Alex Terziev, who has been our Fido zombie. He's our stunt head stunt guy and just does way too much on the show. It's just like his arm is just out of frame and just lets go of it. Bam!
A very low tech solution.
I loved
It worked, though.
If it
Totally
works, I mean,
It worked and it was effective. But we have another group of bounty hunters coming in at the exact same time, claiming that they also have the Murphy.
Itchy
which
and
is
scratchy.
just a zombie.
Wait, what?
No, well,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't sketchy
itchy.
and skeezy.
No, itchy. Yeah, at least one of the other writers and I were referred to them as itchy and scratchy, but then they ended up being
Nice.
like nearsighted, like bald dude. I don't remember.
Oh, the names of the characters.
What are we
Sorry,
gonna do
man.
tonight, Brain?
They were good, those guys. Good
Oh, they were
actors.
They
fantastic.
were.
Yeah, they were scary,
We
intimidating.
had a lot of great, like, just guest cast.
Yeah, we did.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
local guys
Sketchy
too.
people, you know, like guys that
Thinking
come in and
Pinky
play
the Great.
crazy people or something like that. We had
Yeah.
some really good
We
performances.
sure did.
All season long from local guest cast up there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of great talent up in Spokane.
And Seattle.
Yeah, in Seattle.
Right. There were a lot of them coming out.
Yeah, a lot of great extras this season. I always think back to episode 2 when it was just pure chaos of a whole bunch of bounty hunters running around and our main cast members, and you guys just didn't look like you had a chance to breathe the entire episode. There was so much going on.
About
That's
right.
literal. I mean, that fight about killed me. I must
Oh, yeah.
tell you. I had my awesome out-of-body experience. That was so cool.
Pretty great.
So I didn't know how they were going to do that, but they got that really cool special effects guy.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Jason McKee.
No, not Jason.
Oh, you mean the
friend of
the
Alex's.
trapeze guy that
Yeah, the
flew
trapeze,
you?
yeah, and put me on those straps, and they tilted me over as the camera showed me roll over to see my body. You know, very cool little contraption I got in. It
That
was fun.
sounds so cool.
But the fight itself was really physical, and
That was incredible.
And me and the other actor were just, we're old, man. It was hard. It's like we were dying.
I was in the room. I was actually about like 6 inches out of frame for that whole thing, and the room we were shooting in is barely bigger than this one, and they're just going full hard with like 2 cameras with 2 guys to each camera, and I was literally laying like between the legs of our main camera guy, like taking pictures. But yeah, that was one of my favorite fights all season.
That was
too.
one of my favorite episodes too. John Himes directed that, and it was just
Directed this one as well.
different feel, yeah.
That episode was the apocalypse America wants. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we get to run outside with our guns and shoot anybody. Woo-hoo! Here we go. No
Yippee-ki-yay.
morality.
And when
Forget it.
When Murphy falls off into that pool full of zombies, that was just epic.
Yeah, that was
so
kinda
cool.
awesome.
That
It was
was
amazing
intense.
in an awful sort of fashion.
We stopped traffic in Spokane, throwing a guy off the top of the hotel.
We sure did.
I can
Like
imagine.
people were just like holding their phones out their windows, just like.
Just, no one's concerned. Let's just film this. We need
The best one was someone
documented
just
evidence.
shouted from like down the block, "Is he gonna be okay?"
We're just filming. He's fine.
Oh goodness.
We're acting.
Would have been funny. No!
Is he gonna be okay?
We're not sure.
Oh, but to get back to this one, this
Yes.
was a really cool, tense moment, just having this other group. At the same time, I didn't necessarily think of them as that much of a threat because our group has been proven to be so competent. So when 10K ended up getting more, like potentially mortally wounded, I was really surprised and I was taken aback.
That's a brilliant narrative decision. Because then you have the fight with the Zeros afterwards, and 10K has proven himself to be a threat with minimal ammunition and maximum distance. Improvised weaponry, and I mean, the guy carries a bag of, what are they, like sprockets?
Gears, yeah.
Gears, yeah.
And he's deadly with a slingshot. It wouldn't have been a fight if he'd still been in it, so removing him made that scene that much more intense. You needed him out of the way. It's the reason they removed Hulk from Civil War. Like,
Yeah.
you know who's gonna win. Same idea.
It's just not fair. Was that the
Really?
idea behind it?
Well, a lot of it was we knew we wanted to put, we wanted to get 10K on the sub with Murphy, and put him in jeopardy and just have something, you know, and just keep keep the audience knowing nobody is safe, and at any time, even if they're not going to kill, we might knock them out of commission, or it's the unexpected is what we're always going for.
On our show, we almost do the opposite of fan service. We see who everyone likes, and we dangle them on a thread over a pit of alligators. That's a season 3 teaser for what we're going to have you by your shoelaces over some zombie alligators.
Okay.
Well, we had the elevator, so.
Yeah, we had the elevator.
Yeah.
And you were right. This is how we get our zombie sharks.
Yep, zombie sharks.
That's
Can we
that's
have
what
them?
we want.
Can we have it, please?
That is what
I
we
think we'd
want.
have to do whale. I guess maybe dolphins because they're mammals, so that could technically.
Know that there's an Italian zombie movie where a zombie fights a shark?
Is it
Fights a shark?
Yeah.
not Z area, is it?
No.
I don't remember the name, but yeah, there's an Italian zombie movie where a zombie fights a shark for some reason. I don't know
I'll
why.
have to look into
In the
that.
water, like
Yeah,
a
in the
swimming
water.
zombie.
Yeah, it's just hanging out on the
Doesn't
bottom
seem like
of
a
the
fair
ocean.
fight.
I think the zombie came out on top, so
Yeah, well, we have a killer whale fighting a zombie next season, so there.
AFTERBUZZ
that.
Hashtag
exclusive.
Blackfish.
Right.
take that Italian zombie movie whose name I don't remember.
Exactly.
But yeah, to kind of get back, I like the idea, and not only that, but you also have the tension that has been going on for most of the season between Murphy and Tenk.
Yeah.
And so to have that built to this very unsettling, again, ambiguous end of, did he leave him behind? Like, did he intentionally leave him there to die? Or
What did we do? I forget. What did we kill him?
No, we
I
well,
don't
find out in
remember
season
what
3.
He's lying down in the
better-
raft so no one can see
I
him.
gotta remember to figure that out.
Yeah,
before
I'm not
next
sure.
season.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
I
didn't
loved
see
the
him.
line that Murphy said before he went with Dr. Murch, where they were like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of your man. He's not my man. He's just a byproduct of the apocalypse I couldn't seem to shake."
Right.
Like, that was powerful. Even though they've been through things and they've needed each other to survive, continuing on the journey since Cassandra, it's very clear that they still hate each other
Oh,
so
Tenk
much.
is the only one where Murphy's just like,
Goodbye.
Maybe,
Everyone else-
maybe. I don't know. But part of me thinks he won't admit to liking any of them, other than maybe Roberta. But
No, don't get attached. Yeah,
yeah.
It's the apocalypse. The second you get attached, we come in with scissors.
well, everyone else he's
Or
got
a
at
machete.
least two cares to rub together about them, but for 10K,
Well,
He's still rubbing something.
Well,
okay.
Oh, that came out.
well, Tenk
there.
has openly said that he's going to kill Murphy someday, but that day just happens
Today
to not be
is not
today.
that day.
Right.
Tomorrow doesn't look good either.
Yeah, so even if Murphy does like him, he knows that, that we should probably steer clear of that kid. Just to be safe.
I was expecting Murphy to bite him, not gonna lie.
Hmm?
He didn't.
That we saw.
You just never
You
know.
just never know.
With us, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past you guys at this point.
Shooting on the sub did prove a lot of fun. We took like a splinter unit out to. It wasn't actually a sub. It was a battleship of some sort. The U.S. Turner Joy out in Seattle.
Destroyer.
Or in
Cool.
Bremerton.
Nice.
And just it was so much fun. And we went out with a little splinter crew. John Hyams, one of our camera guys, Peter Green. Just it came out really cool.
Yeah,
it's really
it actually looked like it was on a submarine for a lot of the shots. I very much appreciated
Yeah, the
that.
ship looks very similar to a sub, and work around it. The rest of the stuff was stock footage that we doctored and blew up and things like that.
Told you that would work.
It looked really good. But since we're talking about the submarine, do we want to talk about like the village of the damned that's like hanging out on the submarine with their
Yeah.
creepy glowing eyes?
That was
Yeah,
messed
what
up.
about those guys? What are we doing there? What is this Zona stuff?
Someone in chat, Alistair Allen, referred to Zona as Trump Island.
A little,
Accurate.
Yeah,
it's a little bit,
Accurate.
yeah. I think that's.
Yeah, he's
That's
not-
kind of
he-
accurate.
we could get him as a guest star, couldn't we? He's like-
Oh God,
He'll do just about anything for attention.
No, because then we have to try to have him in the studio, and I don't want that.
No, we don't have to do that. But if you guys could like have him turn into a zombie, that'd be great.
Well, by next season, he won't be running for president anymore, so. Won't matter.
Yeah, no, never mind.
Don't go there.
Let's
Don't
just-
get going there, right?
So Zona.
Suddenly the show took a turn.
Yeah.
So Zona ends up, we get a call back to the Area 51 episode, which I honestly wasn't expecting. Which, again, because that was something that we talked about when we wrapped up that episode. We're like, what is that exactly? What could that mean? Is that going to come back? Or is it just kind of, the truth is out there and that'll be the end of it for that episode? But we actually do get a solid answer as to what Zona is. And the fact that they were testing variations of the zombie vaccination on Zona residents. And it looked interesting.
Oh, it's a side effect, but the vaccination's kind of wearing off, and now they're all starting to turn, including the president, leader,
The founder.
the founder, thank you, of Zona, who I guess is an important human being, question mark? So we need you to make this work, and I love that Murphy's immediate thing was just like, I thought this was for everyone, not just the 1%. Eventually,
Murphy, 2016.
What was that great line he
Right.
had about being a blood bag for the rich or something?
Right,
Yeah.
It was a great line. I
You
wish
think
I knew the
I'm
whole-
just going to be, a bag of blood for a bunch of billionaires?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a really great line. I loved it.
Yeah, no, and I love the second they turned around and you see just their glowing eyes. It was like, this is not good. And something also kind of note is he asked a couple guards to get out of the room and they didn't listen to him. So just because they have a variation of the zombie virus in the same way that he does, it doesn't mean he can control them.
Right, they don't have his antibodies.
Right.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really have any connection to them.
Yeah, no, they had to be told to get out by somebody else, which that was a terrible idea, Merch. That was a terrible idea.
Well, see, she doesn't know how bad he is because she hasn't been
Yeah,
watching the
17,
whole
yeah.
season, right? Like 2 seasons. All the nonsense he's been
Don't have
on.
Netflix in the
Last
apocalypse.
time she saw him, he was just some dopey volunteer. So
Yeah, she
she didn't expect him to be bad.
She's like, I can't even tell if that's really him. And then he started mouthing off.
And then
that's him.
Yeah, he said the line that he said in episode 1, and I went back and
Yeah.
watched it to see if it was done with the exact same inflection, and Keith Allen did wonderful. It was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
exact
he's-
same power and anger behind
Keith's a
that.
powerhouse,
You down
man.
and
It's like, oh, yep, now I recognize him.
Hike me or I will hunt you down and eat your brains.
He was practicing that. He stepped away from the set to practice that, and I happened to just catch him just out of the corner of my eye doing it, and he was like, oh man, it was so intense watching him prep for that. It was so cool.
He works hard. He doesn't miss many details. So he's.
I love when
darn
he made the choice to walk right in front of the lamp.
That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was like, yeah, I gave him a little thumbs up from behind the scenes.
Especially
That was
with
a
the
good
makeup.
choice.
It was a very powerful
Really, really cool.
image.
That was a good choice. I want to know from you guys, did you guys always plan on bringing Merch back, or was that something that we're like, maybe there is a CDC?
No, that was
maybe
always
not?
that was always the plan. Originally, they were going to get to California at the end of the first season,
And then the sub was gonna fire the nukes.
and then we decided to that it would be too soon to sort of change the nature of the show, and the network was afraid, well, what if everybody likes season 1? We don't want to change it. We want to keep them on the road. So we stretched that out, that part of the story out longer. But yeah, she was always coming back, and he was always going to kidnap her with some plan in mind.
Can we talk about Kurian's head in the box?
I loved it.
Who wants
a
to see
head
him
in
come
a
back?
box.
Come on, we gotta, because the network does not want to see him come back.
See, I said that, and then she said, well, he kind of is a dick in a box.
I didn't say that.
I
She said that.
I
Okay.
said
I did not say
I
that.
said
I was
step
about to
one,
say,
put your head
credit-
in a box, and then we
Credit
started
where
laughing
credit is
about
due.
Yes. It's one of the lovely M people in my life.
And Donald plays it so well too.
He's
It's like
Donald Corey.
Yeah.
he's
so fun
so
to
much
talk
fun.
to.
Like that behind the scenes photo I have of him just like Hamleting with his head. My favorite thing is that head at one point was left. We actually had 2 of those dent heads, and they accidentally left him on a crafty table, and one of them tipped over into a thing of dip, and it was just the most unappealing thing you've ever seen. There was this kind of pink chipotle colored dip, and it was just But yeah, it's Donald still manages to pull it off even as just a head in the box.
So keep the zombie heads away from craft services, guys.
They left the head in the box on the porch
Yeah.
He's still a player if someone comes by and it's like, hey, I wonder what's it. Oh, God.
I know the network actually wanted to make like a big note was make sure you crush his head. We want to see a truck run over his head, so he's not coming back. But then I didn't do it.
So is he coming back?
We ran out of time. We had the truck and everything, but
If
we
I
just
could make
didn't
a
get to it.
request for season 3, I would love a "What's in the box" joke. That would
What's
be
in the
fantastic.
box?
So, did you left the back door open on purpose for that one then?
Oh yeah. We're
All right,
just,
all
like,
right.
We don't close
We're
doors
the show that
unless we're
says yes.
barricading them.
Yeah, we're the show that says yes. So
Speaking of that, it looks like we finally got to see who has been hacking the transmissions.
Yes.
As the Vietnamese? Potentially?
Chinese,
Well,
Chinese.
Is it
Asian, a
Chinese?
group of Asian
Asian.
survivors
Pan-Asian
and
Legion.
soldiers.
Yes. Because the epaulette is kind of very similar to the Vietnamese flag, but then it's also very close to the PLA emblem.
That's very observant of you.
I don't think we thought it through that much, but
I
didn't
did.
think about that.
It's like, she
We watched it together and we were like, "Who are they?" And
Well, I
Michelle
said the Chinese,
immediately
and they were like, "I don't think we got enough to tell." And I was like, "Hold up, I'm just gonna go back and pause
Justify
and do
my
some
answer.
research."
I'm sure
got this.
Ashley Russell, our fantastic wardrobe person, probably did the research, and
Did
I'm
the same
sure it's some
Googling
sort
you
of
did.
accurate down to like what the
like,
soldier that
let's-
rank of soldier would be wearing.
Let's make it accurate and then make one minor change so
Right,
that we're
so it's
not
the
actually
future.
representing
Right.
anyone real.
and that's the other thing you have to keep in mind is that this is New World Order.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the same way that
Right, it's not the China that's China today, right?
Yeah, it's exactly like in the same way that Zona was not the U.S. government anymore.
Zona's not Hawaii anymore.
It was a bunch
Right.
of
It's
rich
Hawaii.
people who
Aloha,
were trying
oi.
to preserve culture in so much as they saw it. So it's like,
Trying to preserve their culture.
their culture. I do love this. We got this from Renji in the chat. Kurian is finally the head doctor.
Yeah.
Heyo.
Yay! I love it.
He should have quit while he was ahead.
Thank you, Zach.
That was the appropriate response.
Well, he stuck his neck out
Wah,
for
wah.
that one, and it just
Yeah.
didn't turn out.
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
No.
You
We are
stay on
gonna
this for
have
20
it.
minutes.
We could.
He came out ahead.
In the end,
There's a million of them. I
We had an episode of.
was that like a million voices saying no? It's like,
That was just Megan recorded a bunch of times.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Our live studio audience doesn't appreciate the puns.
exactly.
We had an episode of Robots in Disguise that was all head puns for like 45 minutes.
It's
That's
the
funny.
worst thing
It was
ever.
beautiful.
So
We
there's
had
precedent.
her doing them by the end. Oh my god, yes.
Point being, to get back to what we were talking about was the Chinese coming in, or what is left of the Chinese government, or a new subset government, we don't know. But basically,
People.
they have attacked our group now and have taken them hostage. Well, our group plus one.
Skorpion.
No?
Hector.
No,
Hector.
Thank you for correcting me.
Soy
I'm glad.
Hector.
Soy Hector.
Do we want to talk about Emilio?
Can we
coming?
talk about Emilio?
Emilio is
How many
Sure.
times have I said that just like that this season? So many
Several.
times.
Are you an
Several.
Emilio fan?
I am. I watched Sons of Anarchy religiously,
Awesome.
and then when I found out he was going to be on this season, I was very excited because he's just a really great actor and a really cool dude.
He's a
He has
really cool
fantastic
dude.
fans
Oh my God, the
everywhere.
best.
I mean, it's
He
like
really
when you
does.
hang out with the guy, it's like you can't go. I mean, he draws a crowd of all kinds of people too.
So one thing I love is Emilio and I have become pals over the course of the season. And we go shooting together. There's a great range up in Spokane that they love us at, and so we'll go shooting. And it started out like before the show started airing, like everyone we ran into, they were always asking about Sons of Anarchy. Oh, we love you on Sons. We love you on Sons. But the last couple of times we've like gone out and done something, not one mention of Sons. It's all like, and Skorpion, what's up? Sting me, dude. It's like, and it's the best. And I like it's I love the level of enthusiasm is different too, because the Sons people are like, hey man, I love your show. My bike's out back. Cool to meet you. And then like our fans are like, yo, just like so into it.
Well, it's really cool because he was a big fan of Z Nation
Yeah.
before he got on, and when I first met him on the set, he's like, "Oh, Doc, man, can I get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Oh my God, are you
He's
kidding
so
me? I want my picture with
enthusiastic.
you."
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's so
He is
he's
the
so
best.
into it. And
We love that guy.
he just like it was on his bucket list to be on a zombie show, and he go.
That's awesome.
And it was funny because when we're writing the scene where we first introduce him in episode 1 this season, where he whips out or episode 2, I guess, where he's got the bazooka.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and when his son, he's got like an 8-year-old son. found out he was going to be on a zombie show. He goes, well, we got to figure out what your weapon's going to be. And the two of them sat and and they came up with you need a bazooka. And then when I told him in your first scene you whip out a bazooka, he goes, yes, that's perfect. Can I tell my son it was his idea? And I said, absolutely.
And also, and the tattoo on his forearm is actually his son.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not an actual tattoo yet.
No.
But it is it is a printout, but it is actually of his son's face, which I always thought was such a nice detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And the way that it was incorporated into his backstory, too, was really cool.
It was very powerful.
Everyone has their own.
Yeah, no, he really gives the show a nice. Those scenes with him and Vasquez really took the show to that was a whole thing we hadn't really been doing. That kind of really intense male drama. So.
And especially after seeing Vasquez's the flashback from last episode where we were all just like, I'm not okay. I am not okay.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I wasn't crying. I was just
crying.
Ah!
I hadn't seen that. I was not on set that day, so I actually had not seen that one.
That was probably the
funeral?
darkest thing you guys have done.
Yes.
On
The
the
funeral?
show. You guys have done some dark stuff.
Yeah.
That'll make some BuzzFeed list.
But it was just like, oh no, they're not oh no.
Yeah, that was a legit
No
scary scene. I think that was
really
as scary as stuff gets.
One
Yeah.
of the most traumatic things, hands down, that has happened on this show.
It also, but that episode also speaks to just how chill of a guy Doc is, because when he sees someone being eaten on his couch, he's like, just hey man, do your thing, have a nice.
At first he's like, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I loved the inner monologue you had.
Just some love on the
Figuring
couch,
that
man.
out.
Was that
Just
a
running the
zombie?
list of things, right?
Now,
Yep.
I do, and the way that he was able to piece together, oh my god, that's a zombie! Very, very quickly. It was fun.
Well, all the sound effects, the growling and the grunting and the drooling and all the whatever it was, clued me in, I guess.
That's all
I don't know.
our director Abram Cox and Dan Merchant in the loop room, just groaning into a microphone.
Be the zombie.
That's got to be a fun ADR session. I do want to know, because Hector, not El Skorpion, is seemingly a part of the group, or at least is being associated with the group now that they've all been captured. Is there any chance of him actually being fully integrated into the group, or is there too much bad blood between them now?
Well, Carl, what do you think about
Well,
that?
yeah, I mean, he is going to go along for the ride, I think, next season, and be a part of the group. Although it's not going to be easy, or and his, we'll explore the psychology of a guy that's had that much trauma and made that much of a personality change.
I love the redemption story. I think everybody loves a good redemption story.
Yeah, that's why we did it, was just to see, somebody make that kind of a turnaround, and also to see what happens with Vasquez on the other side of the coin, and what happened to him when he ran off, and will they ever see each other again, and so we've got some really good stuff for them coming up next.
Yeah.
Our season 3 board's already looking interesting.
Well, we have a prediction in the chat. Will Vasquez be the one to find 10K on the shore somewhere? It's a thought.
Nobody's going to find Tenk on the shore.
Oh, boy.
Not on the shore, anyways.
Although it is very interesting, at least with Vasquez choosing to walk his own path now that the job is quote unquote done, or that the mission's over, because for the majority of this season there's been a sort of romance going on between him and Warren.
You could just see Warren going, damn it.
Uh-huh.
Now,
At least this one's alive.
and I know that a lot of fans, myself included, were rooting for them to get together, and that hasn't happened yet.
Well, they did, but it was a dream,
Yeah.
So you still sort of got what you wanted.
sort of.
Sort of.
No fan came up with a good enough shipping name.
What was that?
No idea.
I didn't hear what he said.
Stop blowing holes in my ship.
Yep, that's from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, is it?
That was beautiful.
Oh, that's too
Thank you,
dead on.
Zach.
You're just on your A game today. I love
Well
it.
done.
No,
Really
it's
on top
part of
things.
my job helping run the Twitter is to report back to the cast and crew onto what the most active ships are. So like Tenk was a big one. But no one came up with like there was Vasquez. There was like Varen, which I thought was kind of Germanish.
See, and that's the point where you need to stop doing the name mishmash and come up with something really interesting in terms of phrases.
I kind of love the name mishmash though. Right, Len?
Yeah, but it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Because
that's our job as writers, is to come up with shippable names.
Season 3.
Season 3.
Yep. So yeah, we've talked about him being added to the team. Was there ever, because Michael last week was talking about there being a discussion as to whether or not he died. What was the final?
Skorpion?
Yeah. What was the final thing of like, no, we need to keep him around?
Emilio's a badass.
Well, also, I mean, the network wasn't sure. They didn't think we could pull off the redemption of him.
Really?
But I just knew that he could. You know, I knew. Because in some ways it's sort of, the arc of the character kind of matches his life story.
Yes, it does. When he was doing that monologue,
oh yeah,
it was intense.
Right, because he had told me his story, and then we crafted that to be something that would really resonate with him.
Well, it did, and he went there, and it took a while for him to get it together to give that performance, because he kind of had a little meltdown. It was pretty beautiful. We were all just like, "Damn, he's good."
It's the kind of stuff when you see on set, you just know, like this guy's a goddamn pro.
That's to me is what our show is unexpected, and one of the best unexpected things is when it gets really, really good.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And it's like it was this goofy zombie show you're going along with, wheels of cheese, and then all of a sudden we'll hit like a really dramatic, honest scene, and they really stand out because they're it's mixed in with all this other stuff, so it really catches people off guard, which is
it really did caught all of us off guard.
Yeah, and those are the moments where you see what the show is really about too. Yeah. So the rest of it's just window dressing and zombies.
No, those are the moments that make the audience completely go as well. So
right, and you catch people, and I think the Walking Dead does that really well too. I remember early on watching that show when you knew it was a better show than you thought it was going to be. In some of the early episodes where they just had really dramatic moments, and all of a sudden you're going, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that at all." So.
Yeah, but then we got the wheel of cheese. And
right, we go the other way. We tried to broaden things out.
Don't mess with the cheeses.
I prefer the sense of humor. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Well, to me, the difference is they're like zombie church, and we're zombie bowling. So it's like, what do you want to do on a Friday night?
I'm sticking with the Lebowski side of things, man.
Right.
It's like
that's
zombie
like
bowling.
your opinion, man.
I love that line.
Yeah.
I love that line.
You say that on set every so often.
A couple of dudisms.
Good.
Docisms are the new
Yeah.
thing, man. Hashtag Docisms will be big on Twitter next season.
Oh, I can't wait.
I would love those.
Yeah. No,
we have a couple of questions. This has come up in chat more than once.
Okay.
Citizen Z.
There's that's kind of a big one because he found out he'd been hacked, and he finally decides to leave, and I could have sworn, and this was just based on like the interviews from Comic-Con, just talking to the cast at Comic-Con, talking to you guys. I thought he was going to be leaving the base right away. I thought, and that he was going to have to try to find a way to meet up with Delta X-Ray Delta on his own. And when he didn't leave, I was confused.
Well, he left for High Castle for a while.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so coming in to have him come back to him once he killed all the zombies and then finding out he'd been compromised and then finally deciding to leave, I was like, took you long enough, what happened? But then we have this scene where he looks like he's freezing to death.
Frosty the Snowman.
And it looks like someone is approaching him. Is that a hallucination? Is that somebody coming to his rescue? What do you guys think?
It's the astronaut. Bring Eric back on the show.
That's what I was gonna say. Oh, can we? Oh, that'd be great. He's a hoot.
The hallucinatory
I think
astronaut.
he's gonna help him through this.
I think so. I think that should be the case.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll see who it is and what they have in store for them. And
Yeah, that's a season 3 casting decision. That's what that is.
Speaking of, we had a question from Mike_New York on Twitter. He wants to know which actors would you guys like to see star as guests next season? To everybody on the table.
well, ooh, guest stars.
Well, I keep wanting to implement the policy that if they die on The Walking Dead, they're welcome in our apocalypse.
Right? Yeah.
So no
Let's get Glenn over here.
No, oh god, he had one tweet that he put out that I was doing like fire damage on for like a week after, where
I said that Glenn was going to be okay because Murphy had bitten him.
Yep.
I tweeted, don't worry, folks. Murphy bit him. He'll
Walking
be
Dead
fine.
fans did not take that lightly. Enrique's Walking Dead group got really mad about that one on Facebook.
That's so funny. Oh my
People
God.
were pretty emotional this season.
But in terms
But if
of
you can't have a sense of humor, what's the point?
Well,
Yeah.
That's why I stopped watching Walking
I
Dead.
talked,
honestly.
I talked to the gals at Comic-Con, and they said Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Reynolds would be great.
Isaiah Mustafa.
Ooh, yeah, that could be cool.
Look at your zombie. Now back to me.
Um,
Now back to Z.
I like the guest cast where we have people sort of playing themselves too.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
think the George R. Martin one was.
We-
I think more people like that would be interesting to run into. I've wanted to run into a whole band of some sort.
Yeah.
You know,
That would be
and
cool.
just see them like busking
Get
on the side of the
Nickelback on the
road.
show.
Right, yeah, there we go.
all I'm saying is
Nickelback as zombies.
Lou Ferrigno walked into our writers' room at the asylum in one day last season. That's all I'm saying. So,
That would
But,
be great.
yeah, no, it would be fun. There's so much potential in our apocalypse just to like having like actual people show up is something I'm a huge fan of. But then also, yeah, just having like cool, interesting people, and we've had some great ones.
You guys had a lot of really great ones this season. A lot of really cool people come onto the show.
Well, it's fun bringing people back from kind of his greatest hits. Like Iggy this season was played by Justin Shankrow, who played an 8-year-old character in Erie, Indiana back in the day,
One of the
and
two kids.
proved just as wacky and fun this season. But yeah, just
Anthony Michael Hall was good.
Anthony
It was a lot
Michael
of
Hall
fun.
was great having. But yeah, just having interesting people throughout has been
Maybe some
so promising.
reality stars from like the
Yeah.
Food Network. Paula Dean as a zombie, or
Guy Fieri
Guy Fieri from
In the-
Diners, Drivers, and Diners.
in the car.
In the car
In
that
the
he
car.
drives. You know,
with a machine gun on the back now.
I just think the weirder the better. They don't have to be necessarily real actors. You know, just be a zombie, and anybody can do that.
If we ever did butter zombies, we could bring in Paula Dean, that's for sure. We did cheese zombies, and now we do butter, and then we got Paula.
I'd love
There
it if
you
you
go.
got the guys from American Pickers, like still doing their job,
Yeah.
Right,
just doing
exactly.
their thing.
Or
That's
the,
not
or the
bad.
Duck
There's
Dynasty
Plenty
guys.
of good stuff up for
Yeah.
grabs in
We
the
should, yeah.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Maybe
Or
some Ghost Hunter stuff.
The Duck Dynasty guys, so they could be
Ghosts in the
like my
apocalypse.
relatives from.
That would be so
Wouldn't that
great.
be great?
That. Do that.
I say this all the time, but I would watch that TV program.
So before we run out of time, which we're running out of time,
Wait, we're
I apologize, but we have this ending shot, and we wanted clarification on this ending shot because we cut to Lucy, who appears to be a few years older now. So we're like, is this a time skip? Did you guys pull a Twilight and she just ages very quickly? And there are 2 zombies next to her. Are those her pets? Or is that what's left of Ma and Pa Kettle? Because if you look at
that's funny.
the Z Nation wiki, they list them as Ma and Pa Kettle, but they don't look like
Really?
Ma and
No.
Pa Kettle.
Oh no,
They
they're
were.
not. No,
They're
they're
not
not Mom and
Mom
Pa
and Pa
Kettle.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I
nice to
didn't
get
figure
clarification
they were
on that.
because DC Douglas was super excited about potentially being back for season 3, and I don't.
Yeah,
think
we'll
it
see.
would be
We'll
if
see
that
Ma
were
and
the
Pa
case.
Kettle and much more Lucy next
Yeah,
season.
they were
and
her
she
playmates.
is. Yeah, they were her playmates, and she is aging fast. So
Because
Oh,
everybody
okay.
knows that the zombie babies age faster.
yeah,
That's just-
Everyone knows.
Scientific.
Hashtag
Yeah.
Z-Nation
It's a
science.
There's scientific
It's
consensus.
a scientific
So
fact.
they grow up so fast,
They
quite
grow fast.
literally.
Hashtag Z Nation science.
Well, originally
That's
it
my
was
job.
written that you were supposed to hear. You were supposed to hear Ma and Pa Kettle talking over this scene.
Okay.
But I guess it
and
was
then we
just
dropped
more
it.
cryptic to just sort of leave it.
Well, the
with
scene came out
ambience.
better than we because originally it was like we have to find a girl who's as young as possible. So like 3 was about it, and it's like, oh, we're never going to get a 3-year-old to do anything. And that little girl was great.
She was great.
She was
Well,
great,
that's-
and it's her uncle is playing the zombie, and the female zombie's her mom.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and she's been to the set a bunch of times because the uncle Jeremy Lindholm's played like a
He's one of our
dozen
principal
zombies.
zombies,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's always
Oh,
in there.
okay. I didn't realize that.
Right, so she's been to the set and seen zombies
She's
before, and so
family.
she was just playing with her uncle and
Okay.
mom dressed up, and It was
So
totally,
she wasn't scared or anything.
Not at all. No, I think
No,
she
no,
had
no, yeah.
she had a great
You
time.
know, Corinne, our lead makeup person, posted this great photo of just her like painting.
Yeah, because she
the little
painted
girl's
Corinne
face,
while
and then
Corinne was painting
painted
her blue.
face as she was
I
getting
saw
hers.
that.
Cute.
Super
That's adorable. All right, well, we are really short on time. Do we have time for predictions, Zach? Real quick.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
No
Take
light
that as a
show.
yes.
Take that as a yes. Okay, so the group is fractured. Some of them have been captured by a crazy random military, and Lucy is aging very, very quickly. Guys, thoughts on next season? Go.
Poker face, quick.
Why did you skip to me? That's not fair.
Because you're at the end of the table and we swing back in, so go.
That's cheating. I haven't formulated any thoughts on this subject. I would love to learn more about Black Summer. The end. Katie.
Vasquez and 10K going off and doing their own little thing and eventually coming back with the group. And guys, I don't ship Addie and 10K. I'm sorry. I don't see it. No.
I like the idea of Hector now being a part of the group. I think that's going to make for some very interesting dynamics. I think Murphy's going to try to do his own thing for a little bit, and our group is going to try to catch up to him to stop them. That's my thought. But yeah. That's all I've got for this season.
All right, we know what we're not doing now. Got to get back there and make those changes right away.
All right, so do you guys have any other upcoming projects or anything that you guys are working on that you'd like to plug?
It's all Z Nation all the time for me. I'm like chained to this
remodeling my bathroom and trying to get that finished.
I think it's just like squeezing in a little bit of life in between these
A
things.
little bit of
'Cause
life. I got a trip to the dump I have to make. Yeah.
what? Yeah, it's like
There
cleaning
should be
your
a,
room. You know, it's like
I'll be posting a behind-the-scenes gallery of exclusive Z Nation photos on my website, outliereimagery.com. That's also my my handle on all social media is @outliereimagery, and you can find a lot of Z Nation exclusives through that.
Can't wait.
Very good.
Carl, where can people find you?
at Unreal Carl.
Fantastic. Russell, where can people keep up with you?
At Hodge Mahal. Yeah, right. There's no other thing part of that.
Yeah, no,
Just
no.
At Hodge Mahal. That's a Twitter thing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's Hodge with no E, so it's HODGMAHAL. Yeah, I'm on Twitter sometimes.
Fantastic. Michelle.
You can find me on Twitter at Michelle_Cullen.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's KIAXET. I'm also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. All of my shows are on hiatus, but I know we're going to have a Ruby in January, and it's going to be great.
Guys, I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TheMenguin. That's TheMengein. I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I also write articles for The Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. Thank you to everybody on the hashtag. Thank you to everybody on the live chat. We will see you all next season.
Happy holidays!
Bye-bye,
See you guys.
After Buzzards!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.